The most wonderful thing about tigers is tigers are wonderful things. Their tops are made out of rubber. Their bottoms are made out of springs. They're bouncy, pouncy, bouncy, pouncy, fun, 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 fun. But the most wonderful thing about tigers is I'm the only one.
The battlements of Castle Curmudgeon, where let's get the most important item out of the way first. On this Memorial Day weekend, as on all Memorial Day weekends, we honor all those who paid the last full measure of devotion in service of the armed forces of the United States. May we always endeavor to be worthy of the gift they gave us, which was purchased with their own lives. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America and all ships at sea, and also good evening to a certain Mr. and Mrs. Nelson, currently somewhere in the vicinity of the California-Arizona state line, on the way to beginning their married life and, ideally, delivering me an eldest grandson named Horatio Nelson, but we'll talk about that later. Welcome to the Blast Radius. Thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight. Here is your Decline of Western Civilization news roundup for the work week ending Friday, 24 May 2024. Dateline Chicago, Monday, 20 May. 6 people were arrested on fraud charges this week in connection with a series of staged street robberies that were allegedly intended to help illegal aliens more quickly access welfare benefits by claiming to have been the victims of violent street crime. And first things first, I know you are all as shocked as I am to hear a story about fake street crime originating from, of all places, Chicago, the absolute last city in which you would expect someone to stage a fake street crime. But just for comparative purposes, let's call things what they are. The guys who hatched this particular scheme are significantly smarter than our good friend Juicy Sommelier, because this is just a way the hell more sophisticated plan than the one that idiot was trying to pull off with the gay Nigerian weightlifter Trump supporters from MAGA country. Still no idea how that one failed. It's a real mystery. In this case, 2 gentlemen identified as Parth Nai, age 26, of Woodridge, Illinois, and Ki Wong Young, age 31, of parts unknown, are alleged to be the ringleaders of the string of cosplay robberies, and also arrested were their accused accomplices Biknabai Patel, age 51, Nilesh Patel, age 32, Rivanabhan Patel, age 23, and Rajnikumar Patel, 32. And don't you just love the smell of multiculturalism in the morning when American criminals and foreign criminals can come together across boundaries of language and nationality and ethnicity to weave such a wonderfully diverse tapestry of fraudulent conspiracy. Also, God bless you, America, for being a country where beating up an illegal alien is seen as a graver offense than beating up an old lady. Dateline Washington, Tuesday, 21 May. According to a lawsuit challenging the Biden administration's wildly fanciful, rather comically counterintuitive decision to expand Title IX protections to males who pretend to be females, a single transvestite middle school athlete in the state of West Virginia has eliminated female athletes from competitions on an astounding 700 distinct occasions, proving once again that there is absolutely no physiological difference between boys and girls. Now, if you're one of those types, normal, reasonable people, I believe they're called, who hear a report like that and say, wait a minute, wasn't Title IX devised for the sole purpose of ensuring that female athletes have the same range of opportunities that male ones do? So isn't it kind of an absurd bastardization of the spirit of the law to declare that it now, somehow, by mechanisms unknown, protects the right of boy athletes to put on a girl's uniform and blow the doors off the girl athletes and render the girls' sporting events a complete and utter mockery of themselves? Well, I don't know what to tell you, except that I share your confusion. You know what would be a fun thing to do? If we had a time-traveling DeLorean at our disposal, it would be fun to go back to the year 1973 and tell Joseph R. Biden, 30-year-old freshman senator from Delaware, on the day he voted for that Title IX bill, that one day, many, 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 many years in the future, his presidential administration would decree that that same statute protects the right of boy athletes to dominate girls' sports. Because I'm guessing that fresh-faced youngster would have first laughed his ass off at you for a good long time, and then he would have called you a lying, dog-faced pony soldier. And then he'd knock you unconscious and steal your time-traveling DeLorean so he could go back to 1944 and rescue Uncle Bozy from the cannibals. Dateline Kansas City, Wednesday, 22 May. Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid, a man I already had a pretty high opinion of, and I think it just got a bit higher, gave the correct reaction this week, a reaction we ought to see a whole lot more of, when he showed up for a press conference about pro football, and all the people in the room who are supposed to be sports reporters just wanted him to dive into some dumbass, contrived, left-wing bullshit political controversy. As you probably know by now, as we talked about in the roundup last week, Harrison Butker, the Chiefs place kicker, he committed the unconscionable crime the other week of being a Catholic dude who went to a Catholic school and gave a speech in which he said some Catholic things. And if you require evidence that we are now living in an aggressively feminized society, consider the fact that the manliest man in the National Football League is a goddamn field goal kicker. But that's where we are now. Anyway, here's what Andy Reid said when he showed up for his press availability that he's required to do. And the first question he was asked was some purple-haired, lip-pierced fuckwit saying, "Coach, how do you feel about your kicker being such a dirty, bigoted, istophobic bastard?" Now, that's not what the question actually was, obviously, though it might as well have been. The question was, "Coach, has anyone from the organization come to you with any concerns over the contents of Harrison Butker's speech?" To which a clearly already exasperated Coach Reid replied, quote, "That hasn't happened, and I don't think he was speaking ill to women." End quote. And then the idiot reporter had to flee the room and have a good long cry. But when he got back, or she got back, or they, them, or Zer got back, does it really fucking matter at this point? Said reporter was unprepared to let the matter drop. At which point, an Andy Reid, who was just about prepared to hang himself with his own belt right there at the podium if somebody doesn't ask a goddamn question about pro football at some point, gave that idiot reporter exactly what Zer deserved by saying, quote, "Look, I let you guys in this room, and you all have a lot of opinions that I don't like." End quote. And then the room went silent, and Andy Reid stood there like a total badass, and the cartoon sunglasses dropped down. Then he removed the mic from the mic stand just so he could drop it on the floor. Then he exited the room in slow motion, wearing an ermine cloak as doves and fireworks went off in the background. God bless you, Andy Reid, you magnificently corpulent slab of human awesomeness. Dateline, Washington, Thursday, 23 May. And news from the campaign trail. Would you believe everything's going really terribly for President and semi-animated cadaver Joe Biden? I know, it's a shock. It's a lot to take in. The idea that the absolute worst president in American history, including the accidental ones, would be in danger of not being returned to office. When you're Joe Biden, even when you've spent 36 years being a guy whose semi-official nickname was the dumbest guy in the Senate, not being returned to office is something you've never really had to contemplate in your entire life, no matter how badly you performed your professional duties. Now, don't get me wrong here. Our founders created the best system of government that has ever yet been devised upon this planet. But one of its more unfortunate quirks is that it enables things like Joe Biden to happen. Blunder your way into a tiny state Senate seat, doesn't matter how, and you're golden forever. You can win 6 elections, fail upward to being one of the most powerful men in the country, while earning yourself an aggregate total of less than 1 million votes. I mean, what a country, am I right? But anyway, circling back like Lady Ginger McFirebush of Alabaster Farms to the story that I'm supposed to be talking about right now, recent polling has indicated that swing state voters view President Joe Biden's physical and mental decrepitude as a far more serious issue than they view Donald Trump's legal problems. And look, in all seriousness, the numbers really do look very disastrous for Geritol Joe. These are the worst numbers I have ever seen for an incumbent president 6 months out from an election in my entire lifetime. Let's just run through the list quickly. Arizona, Trump +4, Georgia, Trump +4, Michigan, Trump +3, Nevada, Trump +8, North Carolina, Trump +8, Pennsylvania, Trump +3. Now, normally, when you're the incumbent president, your approach to the re-election campaign is supposed to be to say, here's the list of things I have done to make your life better, Mr. and Mrs. America. Except you can't do that if you're Joe Biden because, let's face it, in a results-oriented world, you are just a 5-alarm dumpster fire of a president. Like most people, if they could swap you out right now for Jimmy Carter, and I'm not talking about Jimmy Carter back when he was president, I'm talking about present day, right now, 99-year-old Jimmy Carter, they would do it without hesitation. So when you're a president like that, and you're hemorrhaging support on all fronts and the polls are bad and just getting worse, what are the cornerstones around which you build your big political comeback? 2 things, abortion and George Floyd. You may have noticed a very concerted effort this week to make George Floyd's martyrdom a brand new feast day on the woke liturgical calendar. Blessed St. George, patron saint of dudes who pistol whip pregnant women during home invasion robberies. And also patron saint of dudes who expire face down on the pavement because they ate a handful of fentanyl and didn't tell anybody. Can't wait to see that new biopic they're making. Oh, did you not hear about that one? They are actually making a George Floyd biopic. So let me see if I have the moral calculus straight on this one. George Washington is such an intolerable bastard that we have to pull down his statues and take down his portraits. But George Floyd, whose claim to public notoriety is having suffered a fatal overdose while a bunch of idiots filmed it, that's the man around whom you're going to build your new civic religion? That's the man around whose memory the President of the United States is building his re-election campaign? You're fucking serious right now? Best of luck, Joe. I'm sure it'll be fine. Dateline Berlin, Friday, 24 May. German police have launched a criminal investigation after reports, wait for it, it gets pretty harrowing, turn away if you're squeamish, that German youngsters have been dancing to a song at the club with lyrics that include Deutschland den Deutschen, Ausländer raus, which for our teutonically challenged viewers translates to Germany for the Germans, foreigners out. I know, it's a lot to take in. We'll get through this together. And can we just talk for a moment about those crazy Germans? Can we talk about how they always manage to come back around to some form of insipid totalitarianism? Because just on balance, apples to apples from 30,000 feet, when you've got a government that launches criminal investigations when citizens are suspected of dancing to songs with lyrics that might potentially be critical of the current regime, as a practical matter, is there a whole hell of a lot of difference between 2024 and 1934? Because I seem to remember a certain little club-footed midget propaganda secretary who used to get his knickers into all kind of a twist when he caught the youngsters dancing to that American Negro music with those morally questionable lyrics. Which raises what I guess is the most pertinent question of all. Do our German friends really have this little self-awareness that they can't see when they're walking down exactly the same path, just from a slightly different origin point? Or are the German people simply incapable of not devolving either to left-wing tyranny or right-wing tyranny? I think, frankly, the rest of the world has every right to ask that question, since Germany as a nation-state has only ever existed during two periods, between 1871 and 1945, and from 1990 to the present day. That's a grand total of 108 years, in which they have instigated the two bloodiest wars in world history, one of which included an industrialized ethnic genocide. Perhaps the rest of the world would have to be forgiven for concluding that Germany was far less dangerous to world peace back when it was just a fractious random collection of several dozen kingdoms and principalities and duchies and margravates and what have you. Maybe this is a case where the human race would actually benefit from rejecting democracy and returning to monarchy. Aber wer weiß, vielleicht bin ich einfach für... God, I got the fucking quote wrong. But anyway, that's all I've got. That's the way the week was. May it rest in peace. And now it's the time you all look forward to when I mercifully stop talking and I toss it over to your illustrious co-host, my distinguished colleague, winner of a record 17 gold medals at last year's large furry hominid steroid Olympics, the one and only, your friend and mine, Mr. Caucasian Sasquatch.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Blast Radius, where we're trying to put as many pieces into the puzzle as we possibly can. But tonight, I brought a story, Cap's got a story, and Midlife Bro Logic's got a story, and we're all going to discuss slightly different things and see what everybody thinks about it. So, chat, feel free. I'm asking everybody right now. I want y'all to share this to some weird liberal chat group out there on Facebook. just send the link in. Don't explain it, just drop it in there and we'll see what happens from there. Just whichever chat you happen to be in, just share that one. It'll be fine. We accept
Co-host endorses this idea.
This is going to be great. So perhaps we could cause a spurgalicious dynamic to go on. And I got Midlife Bro Logic up here, and he tells me he's got a rant to give. He wants to discuss something. He wants to tell us things. So here we go.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Yes. And we are live. Midlife Bro Logic is in the house. Thank you for allowing me on this great new Sunday tradition. It is, right? And let's start a new tradition, people. This is the new tradition. Remember back when HBO used to kick ass? You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Sundays. I'm talking about Band of Brothers. I'm talking about The Wire. I'm talking about The Sopranos, baby. Well, this is the new Sunday's hottest ticket, okay? So make sure you sign up, make sure you show up, and make sure you come here. That's right. Bring your family, bring your friends. We're going to give you the weekly roundup, and we're going to talk about it, because there is so much to talk about. The news cycle is hot. It's nuclear, okay? It's going crazy. And what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about the gift that keeps on giving. I'm going to talk about the person everyone wants to talk about. Love him, hate him, whatever you want to say. I'm talking about Daddy Trump, because it never gets old, people. It never gets old. And you know what I'm talking about. Talking about lying, dog-faced pony soldiers. Thank you, Curmudgeon, for that one. This is an epic fight. An American tradition of epic proportions, similar to, but even better than, Hatfields versus the McCoys. It's the Biden versus the Trump, and they have lots of progeny to keep going. Maybe Hunter Biden's going to pick up the staff. He's going to carry on his wayward son, much like Joe Biden did. Wouldn't that be great for the news cycle? It would be horrible for America, but great for us. But you know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Trump. Trump's in the news. Trump is hot. Should I ramble on about Biden? He's talking about hostages that are in the crowd that are still locked up somewhere in Gaza. Get this guy out of here. Get him out of here. Come on. This is elder abuse. How many times do we have to say this? Do you really think he's going to live for another 4 years? He doesn't even know where the steps are. It's so bad that liberal darling Bill Maher, real time of Bill Maher, used to be something before he got banned from NBC or whatever it was. Bill freaking Maher is going on a tour, not to sell a book, not to sell a comedy show, not to sell a new show, not to sell a movie, Religulous, great movie, not to sell any of that. He's out here selling the idea to all his libtards, and he's going on Fox News to Gutfield. In case you don't know, Gutfield is kind of like Bill Maher, but on the right, but not as funny. He's going on there talking about how they got to get rid of Biden. Liberal darling Bill Maher wants to get rid of Biden. So who's it going to be? You know you can't put Kamala up there. What are they going to do? Just slide it in? Lol. They're going to slide in Gavin Newsom. That's every girl's wet dream. Slide in Gavin Newsom. Is that what they're trying to do? What's the ultimate plan, Bill Maher? I'm dying to know, but let's get back to Daddy. Let's get back to Trump. Let's talk about, boom, Trump rally. Come on. This dude is consistent. He knew that all these immigrants, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists. They are. That's a fact. You can't even deny it anymore. What's going on with this border? They're bringing them in just to destroy America. This is a fact. It's undeniable at this point. Come on. Even the libtards got to see it. Even New York is crumbling because of all of these migrants.
You better.
Estamos llenos, no tenemos espacio para ti. No queremos los inmigrantes aquí. Vete ya. No tenemos espacio para los inmigrantes. It's too much. And we got Daddy Trump out here. He's busting it down. He's got new names for new people. Jake Tapper. Sorry, buddy. Your name is Fake Tapper. I love it. It's unprofessional, but it's funny. It's a guilty pleasure. He's going to have a debate with Sleepy Joe Biden. Give me a break. It's going to be a slaughter. How are they going to protect Joe Biden? You can't. You can't protect Joe Biden. He's going to be exposed, baby. He's going to be exposed. Trump is out there. He's on brand. He's on message. He knows immigrants are bad. Everyone knows it's bad. Did you see the Trump rally in the Bronx? Boogie down for those of you in New York. You know what I'm talking about. Did you see it? There was like hardly any white people there. It was all POCs, the people the libtards love. You know what I'm talking about. And they were up there, Trump, Trump, Trump. They're trying to repaint it. They're trying to write fake news. They're trying to say, oh, people don't like him. Oh, it's AstroTurf. Those people were busting paid. No, they weren't. And let's talk about his messaging. Right? Oh, let's talk about this. He also went to a libertarian convention. Bro, that's freaking genius. Let me reach to the middle. Let me reach to the other people. Let's bring us all together. He brings everyone together. He's a great uniter. His methods may be unique, but if they are effective, much like Michael Scott in The Office, then you got to go ahead and study it. Go ahead, my dude. He's talking to libertarians. There's a lot of common ground. The dude is smart. I know he doesn't know how to dance, but that's okay. It's okay. I don't want a president who can dance. I want a president who can get it done. Thank you, Daddy Trump. Trump 24. Let's get this done. I'm out. Thank you.
That was brilliant, bro. Was that your first try at that?
First try, yeah.
That's good,
Well played.
dude. You sit down with a pen and you'll be able to rock out some real hardcore interests. That'd be awesome, bro.
I'm glad
I can't wait. All right. So which one are we going to start with? Where are we gonna begin? We want to begin with Rekieta.
You got
go for it
on this one, my dude. I'm not familiar.
Okay.
Excuse me.
For those of you who do not know, Rekieta Law was one of the best law tubers on YouTube for 6 years. About a year ago, maybe a little less, he decided to change his content style from law review over to sort of a chat and chill with whiskey tastings and, different alcohols being involved. And in the past year, this man has spiraled from what Midlife Bro Logic refers to as YouTube royalty all the way down into someone who was locked up this past weekend, what was it, Thursday? And the reason is that apparently he had some form of substances and someone called it on him. I don't know the specific details. They have not been released. But what I really want to discuss is how much is YouTube to blame for this spiral? This man was a lawyer. He was planning on being a lawyer in a law firm, doing the law thing and being a lawyer, right? And he stumbles backwards into an amount of success that most people don't even dream of. Is that not a debilitating thing to have happen to you?
Yes, and given the fact that YouTube is the most viewed site on the internet, we can probably expect more of that before we can expect less.
Right. I'd like to get in on some of that myself. I'm down with debauchery. I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
with it.
that
But what
that,
I'm
that makes
getting
two
at-
of us. I am more than willing to debauch myself if the price tag is right. For anybody who's listening,
Pretty much anybody on this panel is. We're all free ring, content.
debauch
whores.
away, baby.
Debauch away. So Rikita has fallen into the trap of success. He allowed the impression, I would call it hubris, the thought that what he's doing is correct because he's doing it, to invade on his daily activities, right? So all YouTubers, to some extent, have a narcissist streak. I do not believe the people who say that rational individuals film themselves. Every single one of us either wants to hear our own voice, wants to see ourselves on TV. We want to be that guy, that
You're
angry
exactly
dude
right.
screaming at the camera. He's no different. And I think that his narcissistic weakness was the crack that destroyed him. I don't think he was one of these druggy people before YouTube. I think it was the very success, the money, the lifestyle that is available, but that normal red-blooded Americans don't live. Even when they got money like that, they just go home, go fishing, and then go back home again. It's when you get sucked into this social media hype phase that becomes an issue. And what's weird
Well,
with him,
particularly when you cross that Rubicon of deciding that you are going to go wherever the YouTube algorithm leads you, if it leads to more subs and more views and thus more money.
right? And that's part of what I'm getting at here is there was a period of time where he was the absolute king of LawTube. There was none higher. There were hundreds of copycat channels. Law firms all over the country started YouTube channels in hopes of balancing the books a bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a handful actually made a good go of it, and they were fairly successful, but none of them can claim the level of success that Rikita enjoyed. And his success led him to associate with other big name YouTubers. These big name YouTubers, some of them have been doing this life for the past 5 or 6 years, whereas Rikita, he'd been big for 5 or 6 years, but he hadn't really stepped out of the lawyer sphere. And when he did, it just seemed to be like a greased shoot. It just was not his cup of tea. And I'm really, really hoping, because I really like Rikita's content. His law content was excellent. There is none higher. But when it comes down to his personal decisions in his life, I really hope this is the wake-up call and he can get some type of diversion. Now, this happened in what? Minnesota? Michigan? Minnesota. I think it's Minnesota. When I looked into it, the maximum charges that I could find for him is 25 years and a 10-year that would be served at the same time from the state. And I'm not going to get into the individual charges that would require, but there would also be other charges involved there that might extend that, or at least extend the time before he can go up for parole. And that is a shocking thing to me. I just never saw Rikita being shady.
Yeah, but it sounds like he could be in a whole world of shit here, doesn't it?
It is not good, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna point out, for those of you who believe in white privilege, he is white. For those of you who believe in money privilege, he is moneyed. So he should have the best possible lawyer. Hello, John Denicola. I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. This is not a thing that I can do, apparently.
Hi, John. Good to see you.
I'll jump in here if I could. Many YouTubers follow the dream, man. The dream, at least for me, I want to leave it all behind and be a YouTuber. I know it's a big dream. I know most of us won't make it to that pinnacle of success. I don't even know this Rakita guy. I feel like kind of silly for not knowing him, but it sounds like he made it and he was there. I pray for the type of success that he had, and so perhaps maybe I won't fall in the same trap that he did. But what was he doing? Drugs? 25 years? That seems a lot.
Let me go over the last week or two of content that is really the unraveling of this particular ball of cheese. A couple of weeks ago, he moved from a studio in his own home to a studio in a friend's home, as I understand it, or maybe back from the friends to the home. I can't remember exactly. I wasn't paying attention to that part because I don't really like his whiskey streams. I'm here for the law tube, and that I've gone on to like a DUI lawyer and other content, and so I wasn't on top of this when it happened. But he apparently has been streaming from a buddy of his house, and perhaps something went down between his buddy's wife and he, although this is all alleged. There's
one with dirt says 26.5 grams of coke and ketamine.
Yeah, well, I mean, this personal use, right?
Yeah.
How much is that?
Hey, give a brother a break. What are you talking about?
What does that even look like? Is that like a?
Isn't that an ounce? How much is an ounce?
Idea.
Isn't it? I thought 40 something grams was an ounce.
Okay.
It's been a long time since my weed dealing days.
I haven't dealt weed many moons, so I couldn't tell you. Chat, y'all are out there buying these grams and shit. How many 26.5 grams of coke? Jesus Christ.
That seems like a lot of coke, frankly. If we're talking personal use here.
Yeah. So
seems more like a commercial type quality, if I'm being honest.
Ordinarily, I would say so, but if you're buying for a household and they're all adults, then I mean, if that's how you pay rent, I don't know what to tell you, man. There are circumstances here that would make that a perfectly reasonable, quote unquote, personal use without trafficking.
I don't even know how much cocaine it takes to get an average adult through the day.
I've no idea.
There's got to be a ration book with some tables in it somewhere, right?
A recommended dose.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Recommended dose of cocaine. All right. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's shout out to Flow State. No. Maybe they're just like you want to go to Costco, you want to buy in bulk. It's like, hey, let's get some cocaine. Let's promise not to use it all in one night.
I'm sure Gavin Newsom's working on it.
Exactly. No. But so what I'm looking at is this guy has fallen afoul of the law in the most basic method possible. Now, there are discussions about children. There's discussion about kids and stuff. Both couples apparently have children, and I don't know. I'm not touching none of that. I'm not speaking from
no pun intended.
None at all. I'm not sniffing anywhere near that.
It just confuses me because if you had made it big on YouTube and you had it made as a YouTuber and you were self-sufficient with that as your occupation, why the fuck would you be screwing around with drugs and bullshit and whatever?
I think because it's fun and at 3 people, they
so.
Probably just have wild coke parties. Okay. I mean, once you achieve the pinnacle of YouTube,
and it might be as simple as that.
Higher. You just need to keep the party rolling.
But I disagree.
Do you think they're selling it or what? I thought they were
rich. I don't think so. I think that YouTube. See, I don't believe my man was a druggie when he started his YouTube channel. I think it was his interaction in YouTube that created this beast in him. And I suspect if you can remove him from the clientele involved, it wouldn't even be a thing for him to quit.
And you may be raising a salient point because if you attain any degree of success in any field of human endeavor, you will inevitably attract hangers on. And If you fall in with
Holy
them too hard,
crap.
they will wreck whatever you've got going and the remainder of your entire life.
No, Captain does not think like an addict. But that's about 8 balls of coke. Holy mackerel, bro! That might be more than personal use, right?
Yeah, that's my
no,
like you say. I don't think like an addict, but I think I'm with you on that one.
So you think, all right? So Difficult Denizen thinks that his YouTube activities exasperated pre-existing proclivities, which
And
is to
that's
say
I certainly would
That's
rate that as a possibility, a strong possibility even.
But he seemed to have his grits all in the same bowl quite solidly up until about 7 months ago. He changed his content from LawTube type content with occasional wild live streams to live stream sort of IRL edgy boy content. And I made this statement to oh shit, I don't even remember who I was talking to, but I said it out loud at one point that this is the beginning of the fall of Nate Rekieta. This is where this will end, and it will end badly, because he went from having like 4 shots in a 5-hour stream to drinking 6 shots of each one. Well, not quite that hardcore, but he went pretty hard into the drinking. And once that starts and you're willing to do that on a live stream, it is inevitable for you to have a DSP moment. Do we know
I
what
would
a DSP
never
moment is?
ever drink on a live stream.
Do you know what a DSP moment is? Dark Side Phil?
Mm-mm.
No? Oh my God. So Dark Side Phil one afternoon paused his live stream to go downstairs and get him some chicken nuggets. And when he came back upstairs, he forgot he was live streaming and sat down and worked one off right there in front of God and everybody. And when he got done,
pulled a Jeffrey Tubin is what you're telling me?
Tubin.
He did
you
this
never
thing.
go full Tubin, god damn it.
He right when he got done, he goes, "Ugh," and then notices the camera's on and was like, what? Not the whole time, and rolls straight into some game footage, dude, like it was nothing. And I aspire to that level of casual bullshit.
Casual
Yeah,
masturbation?
I mean,
What are
when
talking
you
about?
If I could pull off
when
casual
you
masturbation,
get busted like that,
shit.
you might as well just own it and roll with it.
I mean, you should have
Yep, I meant for you
OnlyFans.
all to watch that because I'm that damn important.
He shook it off like a bull bison in the rain, bro. Like,
I'm so important. Of course, I wanted you all to watch me rub one out.
but yeah, okay. So, what do we throw the book at this guy? Do we divert him to something? How does the court of Captain Curmudgeon come down?
Go back to your lane, to doing law videos, the thing you were good at, the thing you had it made with, but it might be too late for that option now since he's got a whole raft of charges staring him in the face, 26.5 grams and whatnot.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't really have a good option for him at this point.
I don't know about mandatory minimums in Minnesota, but they're probably not pretty. Midlife Bro Logic, how does the court of Bro Logic come down on him?
Again, I don't know what the laws are. I don't even know how much 26 grams is. Certainly, if he has children in the home, that is concerning, and they may have to go away for a while or something to a family member, I guess. I mean, you don't want kids around 26 grams of coke. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's a pretty serious problem if there's small children
That
in the
was
home.
part of the reason why I kind of avoided the whole discussion of children being involved at all. And when I say involved, I'm talking about these people that were apparently involved in this scenario were driving the kids back and forth to school and stuff like that. I'm not talking about any shenanigans, nothing weird. I'm just saying it's not a. It's not
but
a
still, that's just not a strong look at all.
And I don't want to sound like too much of a libtard, but I suspect that it was really for personal use. I mean, why not buy in bulk if you can somehow resist not using it all in 1 week or however long it takes to use it? And I don't think we should really necessarily punish that. Honestly, maybe give them quote unquote help or something.
I mean, diversions.
I think there's much more severe things that we should be sticking people in jail cells for at the moment.
So I would
it's about
give
the
him a,
vets for.
I would give him the minimum, whatever that is, and
Like
probably put the kids away for a while until they get their shit straight after like multiple drug
like-
tests.
Yeah,
Years
it's a hell of a damn shame that there's children involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's kind of why I stepped back from the children entirely, was because that could feasibly change sentencing laws and whatnot involved, depending on how closely involved they were. I don't know. I don't have any information on that. I just know that everyone involved has children. That's all I know. Nothing
and
shady,
they're-
no shenanigans.
You know, maybe there should be certain moments in life when you are confronted with the decision over whether to do something that might not be above board compared to something that, compared to not doing it. There are times when you should ask yourself, is this something that my kids want their father to have done? And if the answer to that question is no, don't do the fucking thing.
I kind of have a philosophy when it comes to cameras. If you don't want something, if you're not proud of something, you're going to try to keep it from being put on camera, right? And if you're not willing to do something on camera, you probably shouldn't be doing it in your life in general. That's privacy aside. You know, would you be willing to film what you're currently doing? If your answer is not yes, then you're probably doing something that's not beneficial to your greater livelihood. That's
an outstanding rule. The only problem with it is that there seems to be an increasing tolerance for what people are willing to do on camera. Even really shockingly humiliating things that people are willing to film themselves doing and then promulgate it on the internet, which kind of never ceases to amaze me in some cases.
so throw the book at him or divert him. I say diversion. I say diversion because
I say diversion.
I couldn't find any previous offenses of any description beyond a traffic ticket, and that wasn't even specified. I assume that's what that was.
You know, if there's a version of the thing where the kids get to go back to living in a home with a mother and a father, then that's what I want to see happen.
That's what I want right there. I would like to see him have his I hate to say it, I hope this is his rock bottom moment, and this is that point where he looks around, realizes exactly what he's been doing wrong, and stops, because stopping is a far more difficult thing to do than acquiring a habit, and that's any habit.
Yeah, and sometimes the decision to stop something accompanies the acquisition of self-awareness, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, I figure he'll play down. Although if he can play down far enough, he may still lose his law license and everything else to go with the practice.
Though he is a white guy, so they may just as well throw the book at him.
They might. It is kind of a weird area.
I mean, Minnesota has just adopted the Somalian flag, so I think all bets are off at this point.
What? I gotta Google this.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen the new Minnesota state flag?
No.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, because they have all those. What's her face?
Well, yeah. Let's just say the
What's
new
her name?
Minnesota state flag looks very creepily, suspiciously like the flag of Somalia.
Oh, I'm looking it up now. You guys can keep talking as I Google this, because of course I'm not well versed in Somalian state flag.
I say no significant criminal record, Falcon. There may have been some stuff back there in the olden days, but I mean, I'm not trying to hold anything he did as a freaking speeding tickets are not my concern. I'm not worried about him rolling a stop sign in 1984. I don't care.
Sometimes I feel so boring for not having a criminal record.
I was looking for things like kidnapping and extortion. And was he part of a gang or something? Like, because I mean, this is weight, bro. You can't argue. The man's moving in weight. I mean, he had half a brick in his trunk. Like, we're not he's not about lollipopping this shit over here. We're not at the candy
Got
store.
really bad glaucoma. He has to rub the Coke on his eyeballs.
Yeah, he's like 46, I think, 44, somewhere in there. He's our age is what I was getting at. And that's kind of why
speaking of being in the advanced stages of your 40s, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Sunday, 23 June, 50th birthday, Blast Radius. I want you all to have itchy super chat fingers that day because you only turn 50 once. I'm just saying.
What day is this? When is this?
the next Sunday.
23 June.
23 June.
So,
right, keep reminding me there.
Yeah, pretty much a month from today.
Right. Yeet yeet. Okay, so next topic. I need to go get like a wheel to spin to see who goes next. What you got for us, Midlife? You got anything in particular topic? Something to discuss?
Oh, you wanted something else?
Anything will do.
Oh, well, this is kind of off the cuff. I mean, I guess my Trump wasn't enough. We talked about the rally.
No, that's an excellent intro, but for discussion.
Why don't we
didn't do my homework?
Why don't we roll the Megyn Kelly Bill Maher interview for 11 minutes and then comment on that, because it's worth commenting on, because Bill Maher gets reduced to a puddle of goo.
And then we'll go into Marjorie Taylor Greene. We'll do this whole thing. All right.
Yeah.
You're on like Donkey Kong. Come on, make it work. Buttons, all the buttons. All right, you ready? You ready? Everybody ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you excited? I'm excited. All right.
We all ready like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
I mean,
we go.
Can we talk about Megyn Kelly first? Can we go in on this? Right. And refresh my memory. She was at the pinnacle of success. She was awesome. She was winning, as Charlie Sheen likes to say. They even gave her a daytime show. Oh, and then it like failed. And then she made What's Wrong with Blackface, she said, and then she was canceled, right?
Yeah, and she tried to go anti-Trump, and then famously in the debate, she was the one who precipitated the famous "Only Rosie O'Donnell" line.
Yes.
And then she kind of kept trying to ride that train, and she lost her gig at Fox and was reduced to being, and then the blackface thing happened, and she got reduced to being podcaster / YouTuber, and now she's kind of slowly trying to recover her conservative street cred. And I think this video, frankly, goes a pretty long way toward accomplishing that goal. And all she really does, she's not really promulgating any particular worldview. She's just, when the man makes a factually incorrect claim, she calls him out on it. And that's all it is. And imagine that. So,
yeah, she completely failed and got fired from everything. Of course, got a severance package of more than we'll ever make in a lifetime.
Naturally.
But to her, that's failing. But it does appear as if she is clawing her way back up to some level of success. Yes.
Yeah. And I don't have any idea why Bill Maher would have agreed to do an interview with her, except that he is such an oblivious fool that he thought she was still the anti-Trump chick from the debate 5 years ago.
Well, Bill Maher is going on a tour to get rid of Biden. That's his whole purpose in life at this point, and that's very interesting.
Yeah, his whole purpose in life is pretending to be edgy while noticing things everybody else noticed 7.5 years ago.
Accurate. I'm sorry, I have to agree with Captain Curmudgeon on this one. Bill Maher is what you find when you go to the, it's just like in Fallout. When you're going through all of the old comics and stuff in the stores and you find a really good old comic, that's Bill Maher. 10 years ago, it would have been excellent. That would have been a smashing success. But today it's been so used up and run over by every single hack comedian on YouTube that he's basically
the thing he is in real life, and what this interview exposes, is just a run-of-the-mill, middle-of-the-road, safe establishment liberal who believes every single thing the liberal press puts in his ear.
Well,
whether it's true or not.
Not to cause division among the great Sunday New Tradition Blast Radius with the three of us here. Anything, I like Bill Maher. I think he's great, of course, except when it comes to Trump, because maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Trump sued him for some kind of really lame stuff back in the day. I don't remember what it was, but before he was president, he actually sued him. So he's got a bone to pick with Trump, and he has TDS, and he can't see his, what is that expression? Forest.
Yeah,
for the trees or whatever
he's done numerous things in the past that I've enjoyed. He's certainly a talented guy, but I'm just talking about the lane that he is in right now as a geriatric comedian pretending to be edgy and topical.
Yeah, no, he's lost touch in his ivory tower.
Yeah, he's no
That's
Norm
the problem.
McDonald. He's no Norm McDonald. He's not going to be able to ride off into the comedic sunsets because Norm McDonald is an example of you can be the villain as long as you live and then die the villain. You can be a hero until you become a villain. But Norm McDonald just started as the villain. He just rolled out of the gate as a no, you're all stupid. Stop being morons. And that was
may we all have the strength of character to die the villain.
Right. I will take it every single time because all that means is you are exposed for being human. You have foibles and failings, and we all do. And not recognizing the failings in others is part of what ends up with people trying to throw the book at folks like Rekieta when it's unnecessary. That is an excessive sentence. Yeah, bud.
Let's see it.
Of what's going on with us right now. And in part, to me, it picks up on something you said to me shortly before I came on your show after my own cancellation at NBC. And you said, you seem to me kind of like me right now, which is somebody without a political home. And I felt that way. And I still feel that way. I mean, I've been a registered independent forever, but I know exactly what you're saying. Just the world's lost its mind. And I certainly would never put on somebody's team jersey anymore.
Right. Without a team.
Yep.
Right. And you know what? I like it that way because I don't want to be a part of a team. I mean, I would say I caucus with the Democrats more. I definitely think the right wing is much more dangerous. They don't believe in democracy anymore. And they threw their lot in with a sociopath named Donald Trump. So, you know, no, he's not.
No, I just I want to talk about your feelings on Trump.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
But this is how, so you and I are very similar. I feel like you're kind of a 4 and I'm a 6 on the ideological scale. We have a lot of overlap, but you're definitely still going to vote Democrat and I'm definitely going to vote Republican. But there's enough commonality to make us shake our heads yes when the other one speaks a lot.
So you're going to vote for Trump?
I am going to vote for Trump, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
all right, I want a slow clap on that one. That's at least one vote secured. Right.
Well, I registered to vote this year. Remember, I tried to vote Brandon Scott out. I registered as a Democrat just to get Brandon Scott out. Of course, mayor of Baltimore. I failed.
And it's a vote from a chick who once tried to imply that he was a rapist during a debate. So progress is progress.
Right.
Rip. She's voting for him. I think that's a good.
I can't even understand that. And I understand that Biden is deeply flawed, but he does believe in our way of life. And, you know, I mean, I was the one who was saying from the very beginning when everyone was laughing at me that Donald Trump will never give up power. And he didn't. He still hasn't conceded the last election. I don't know what could possibly be more fundamental to you or anyone than you have to concede elections. And he hasn't conceded the last one. He's plainly not going to concede this one. He now has all of his sycophants around him parroting his party line, which is when they ask them, will you abide by the election results? Yes, if it's a free and fair election, which is another way of saying if we win. You really think this is a place this country should be?
But is that not true for both sides, though? I mean, Hillary still hasn't.
Trying to pin people down to promise what they're going to say about a future event is just stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, it goes great.
What's your opinion going to be about this thing 6 months from now? It's just there's nothing. There is no journalistic value in asking that question.
It's what can you say? And shout out to Sasquatch there. Hillary Clinton still claims that Putin had Russian interference. That's why she lost. No, Hillary, you lost because you're a biatch.
Yes, and that's exactly how Bill Maher is making an idiot out of himself right now, talking about the value of conceding elections when Hillary Clinton, his candidate, still hasn't conceded the election 8 goddamn years ago.
She's still out there pushing Russian propaganda. And let's not forget the lesser of the
when she and her campaign were the inventors of the Russia collusion hoax.
And also, let's talk about Stacey Abrams in Sasquatch State, Georgia. She's out here claiming white supremacy, all this, all that. No, Stacey, you lost. And
yeah, that's another one. She has not conceded the 2018 governor's election.
That woman went super racist on a Cuban immigrant in a Kroger. She
her?
She walked in line in front of this guy. This guy was standing there going through his wallet, and she walked up, set her stuff down in front of him, and he was like, "Dude, I was standing here." And she's like, "Well, I'm in a hurry." And after that, it starts becoming a bunch of screaming and yelling, and you can't really hear what's going on. But
and let's not forget, at the 2020 Democrat election, they actually introduced Stacey Abrams as the rightful governor of Georgia. And those same people are presuming to lecture others about election denial right now. That is actually a thing.
Facts.
It's okay when they do it. They got a problem when we do it. That's what's up.
Amen, brother.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to defend the election denialism. I'm not one of those people who believes that.
What's more important? What kind of country do we have?
How about my daughter not going into a locker room and seeing a man's penis?
That's important too. And How
about young men on college campuses getting due process when they get accused falsely of rape?
Well, I think that's a false equivalency. I think these things
Bullshit. What do you mean?
I think these things are important.
All right, so her thug points just went up.
Oh, she's starting to smack him around like a kitten with a ball of yarn right now.
She's straight called bullshit.
I hate to sidetrack, but I have to talk about her appearance, fellas. I'm sorry, I'm really off kilter here. Even for me, this woman looks like she's a bit too skinny. She needs to eat a little more there, I think. And acid. Bro, are those acid wash jeans and red 6-inch pumps?
Yeah, they might be. I'm with you on that wardrobe.
Is this what's fashionable?
I don't really know what look she's attempting to go for here, frankly.
I think this is horrible, and probably you're not going to like this. But again, I've said it before on my channel. I say it all the time. The best dressed female politician in the world for the past couple of years consistently, like it or not, doesn't mean I like her. Kamala Harris, professionalism exemplified. She always, I know where she comes from. I know how she got where she got to, but she is the most professionally dressed woman all the time. Shout out to you, Kamala, even though I hate you.
Yeah, I don't have much of a problem with her wardrobe choices. I'm with you on that.
She's great. She's so perfect looking. So maybe Kamala, when she loses this, can go work for Megyn Kelly. That'd be great.
The Wicked Witch of the West.
These acid wash jeans got to go.
You can handle these things through the normal due process of our system. But if we lose the system itself, come on.
But we didn't.
We didn't so far.
He tried it. It failed.
Right. And now he's had 4 years to put in place people who will make it work again. I don't know if there'll be a John Raffensperger in Georgia, a noble Republican who stood up there.
Brad Raffensperger, you idiot.
He could count on someone being just a Republican.
All right. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to get something to drink. I'm far too sober. I think it's going to have to be a Bahama Mama. Bahama Mamas all around. Everybody got their Bahama Mama.
Coconutty, but you do you.
Okay. Ooh. That could be colder. All right. So I like it. I kind of like how this is going. This is I'm digging it.
I like when people say penis on air in a respectful way.
Yeah. Especially
it's like a showstopper. Come on. Say penis again, Megyn Kelly. That's what we're here for.
I'm going to go and clip it like 3 times and put it at the end of our outro.
Please.
To do his bidding. And what he found out was that there are a lot of decent people who are Republicans, which is something I'm trying to tell the Democrats all the time. You can hate Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. And you certainly can't hate half the country. And Republicans is not a byword for bad people. And a lot of them I don't like very much.
Pause. To all you Bill Maher haters, there's a little gem in there, right? Did we not hear that? You can't hate all the people that like Trump. Half the country likes Trump. It's actually more, Bill. So check your math, dude. I mean, credit where credit's due. That was a good one. Yes, I think that's
a pretty off the reservation thing for a Democrat to say in this day and age.
Yes, absolutely. So just thank you for the pause there. We can keep going.
Okay.
much. Mitt Romney, McConnell, obviously Liz Cheney, Chris Christie. There were Mike Pence. These are what I call as good as it gets Republicans for the people who don't.
Do you agree with that? I kind of do. I mean, they're Republicans insofar as like they stand on one side of that aisle. But when it comes to the big bills, they're always right in line with the Democrats, and I'm not a fan.
I think my opinion of the Republican Party is well known by this point.
You want to put 2 cents in?
Mitt Romney. I'm a little confused. What are we saying? Bill Maher says those are the good guys of the Republicans.
Yes, the Republicans that he's willing to tolerate are the ones who will go along with 95% of the Democrat program.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I don't really have much smart to say on that one, Sasquatch. Sorry about that. You have to fill that.
No, you're good, bud. Like not everything is going to be everybody's ball of wax, man.
Got it.
Neither of y'all cared the least about Rekieta.
It's not that I didn't care. I just didn't know, and
You just don't know. It's not an interest of yours.
We're just getting to the good parts here. Let's let this thing roll.
It's good that you said Rekieta, Sasquatch, because this is Sunday's hottest ticket, bro, and we're gonna have that fame and fortune. And when the drug dealer comes to me with a great deal on 26 grams of coke for the 3 of us, just tell me, no, Barnabas, no. Remember Rekieta.
Yeah.
We're
I'll
at the
be
pinnacle of
responsible, bro.
success.
You call me, and I'll tell you to tell him to tell him no.
Remember Rekieta. Don't do what he did. So it's good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Not
We're
even
slip
once.
by.
Like Republicans, they full-throatedly said Trump lost that election.
Mm-hmm.
No two ways about it. McConnell said it wasn't even a particularly close
A
election.
lot of people said it. A lot of people said, and but look, I agree with you that the majority of the Republican Party doesn't believe that. But I do think there's a difference between it was stolen, the nonsense with Dominion voting machines and all that, versus it wasn't fair.
All right, I want one each from everybody.
Stolen and
where do you
rigged
stand?
are different things.
They are. Where do you stand on the Dominion issue?
So I had a conversation with my team today, and I am scared, honestly, at the wormhole or rabbit hole to which I am traveling down, in that these quote unquote conspiracy theories are all turning out true, right? Like, I'm at the point now where I'm like, wait a minute, did we really not land men on the moon?
Hold on.
Like, I'm
Yeah,
here for that.
the dividing line
Hold on.
between conspiracy theory and verifiable fact is about 5 to 6 months at this point.
It's 2 weeks on Twitter. But what I'm getting at is the moon landing was Kubrick's greatest work, and I will stand
There
by
were 6
that.
moon landings. God damn it!
But the first one was Kubrick's greatest work.
I know I'm a stickler about that, but I'm going to be a stickler on that until I fucking die.
Okay, brother. I'm with it, baby. We got to have round tards too, man. It's okay. It takes everything to make the disc spin.
And then there's another one. I mean, before someone was like, oh, he doesn't believe in the moon landing, I was like, they are so stupid. And now I'm like, wait a minute, let's talk about that. Now someone who is very intelligent was talking about, sure, they showed me a Jimmy Dore video, but that's the messenger. And it's like, this 9/11 thing, what's going on there, right?
Have
Like,
you not checked your Alex Jones's right jar lately? You might
he's
have a
always
pretty-
right. That's the problem. So it's before I was like, people hate Trump, he didn't win. But now I'm like, people have TDS. This is computer stuff. It's really just time to go back to whatever they do in those S-hole countries and just have one vote, one thing, and everyone counts it together. That's the only way to do this. These computers can be rigged, and we know all the libtards write the programming. So, of course, it probably was stolen. Who's going to vote for a corpse? So I don't know what to believe. I'm looking for the truth. Please lead me in the right direction.
Right? Somebody take this man by the hand and lead him down the garden path.
Please, with a flashlight.
Right?
And
What wasn't fair?
don't get me started. What wasn't fair?
Okay. Well, the
How about
election.
the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story? Just for one.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Really? Then
I guarantee you, there was a note passed to her before this to not mention that.
Hey, look at that! Look at that Democrat wall of denial just goes straight up when the words escape her mouth.
In the laugh track story, just for one.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Really? Oh, then we're not as alike as you think. That's
Okay.
that's a stupid non-story. I mean, yes.
Says who? There are polls that show some 10 to 12% of the electorate says they would have changed their mind had they seen it, had they known about it.
It wasn't right. It wasn't right to suppress it, but nobody gives a fuck about Hunter Biden's
When you say
dick.
nobody, you're talking about yourself. I'm telling
No.
there are data to
Those
show
are
people
all-
did care. They said they would have changed their vote.
Nobody who was going to vote for Trump anyway, or Biden anyway. I mean,
It wasn't about Hunter Biden's man parts. It was about the scandal of his corruption and his dad's corruption. Bill, I used to think that Hunter Biden was a hot mess and Joe Biden was embarrassed by him but had to deal. Now I really think he was doing Joe Biden's bidding. Joe Biden is the bad guy who sent his drug-addled son out there to collect money. That's
Hot take.
Boom!
Hot take.
Yeah, the apple doesn't fall from the tree. I feel sorry for Hunter Biden. I know he's a scumbag, but can you the soil and earth from which he was grown is toxic, and he always lived in the shadow of the son that died, who was going to be like a president or something. He was the prodigal son, as they call it, and this poor Hunter was just destined to be a loser. And let's not forget, shout out, his mom died in a car crash with him. That's got to be tough. So it's tough, man. We got to give a little love to Hunter Biden. And if you're into foot porn, foot jobs, there's a video out there of him getting a foot job. So check it out.
Oh, I'm excited now. I didn't know. I thought that was I make my spare money walking on cakes.
what
It's
the
out there.
laptop shows.
and that's more important than what I was bringing up about not abiding by election results, not respecting what always made this country great, the peaceful transfer.
Hold on. Did he just transfer from accepting election results to whether or not that story changed anything is immaterial because the election's already happened?
Well, he's starting to get flustered at this point, and he's realizing that this interview isn't not what he thought it was going to be, and it gets acutely worse as we continue the second half of the video.
Of power.
I don't disagree with you on that. You're not going to get me to say it was a great thing the way Trump behaved.
I don't have to get you to agree, disagree. You're obviously someone who looks at an elephant and a mouse and cannot tell which one is bigger.
I disagree. I think
I know.
That's projection by you, because I look at Joe Biden.
That's how I see you.
Well, let's talk about.
Why are you telling me this up? I mean, this is just typical right-wing talking points. The evil Hunter Biden and the evil Joe Biden. And look, do I like them? No, I don't particularly like them. I think they're very flawed.
Listen.
It's not nearly on the scale.
You're misstating my argument. You're misstating my argument. That Hunter Biden just now on the laptop was brought up as evidence of how the election was not fair. He's not a reason necessarily to not vote for Joe Biden. The reason.
Both sides of my tongue is edged. I will cut you both complimentary and by cutting you down. I have no compunction about either, but I will only do so if you lead yourself into that corner by which to be flayed. That will be your choice. Words can cause people harm, but it is not the words, it is their actions involving the words. So when I tell you that I am going to do a thing, that could be construed as a threat. But when I tell you that you suck and you go and do something, that's your own problem. Make sure you keep it all straight, bro. Sorry, my bad. That was just an aside.
Reason not to vote for Joe Biden is his policies. You're not woke. He's as woke, or at least his policies are, as they come. The open border bill. How could anybody vote for somebody who keeps this border open with the number of rapes and the number of murders and the numbers of crimes going on with these immigrants?
But again, these are the normal sorts of issues we've always had in this country that should be taken care of through the normal process we've had. You're talking about the difference between I'm talking about the difference between this and something fundamental, which is our democracy. The fact that you have to respect who wins an election, or else you don't have the kind of country we've always had before.
How about?
I mean, I feel like we keep going around the bush about this, and we're not going to make any progress. So let's stop talking about it.
And that is where
I don't want to talk about this anymore because you're making me look too bad. Can we talk about something else, please?
That is where every single Democrat discussion ends. They start talking about your shoes and how you smell. I can't find a single one willing to discuss the actual issues in an actual, like, honest, upfront method. They always go and notice. Oh, and actually, we don't have it up here. When I have the byline on my name in here, it says diversity hire because I'm the only Sasquatch on the panel.
Damn right.
Even if I am white.
We want a panel that looks like America. God damn it.
You got me.
Shout out to Michael. He noticed the all-white panel. I think he had a seizure when he saw it. So
hey, I tried to get a hijabi weather girl, but I don't think she took me seriously. I'm gonna email her every week until she either agrees or lets me, I don't know, tells me who her older sister is. I don't know what to tell you. If I can get her to wear a green screen hijab, it's on like Donkey Kong. I just want eyes and hands. That's it.
Hit play. We're about to get to the good emasculation.
But
I mean, you keep saying sort of I'm nuts because I don't see the difference between the elephant and the mouse. And I'm telling you, I identify them differently than you do. Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the election denier.
First of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
Like dozens of times, you idiot.
He's a reality denier. Come on, stop it, Bill.
He can literally do a supercut of her saying it.
He is being completely pantsed and exposed as just a prototypical cloistered, blindered, ivory tower fucking limousine liberal douchebag idiot.
Right. And can I take this one moment to do some body language ghost analysis?
Yes.
Look at these two people before us. You see her there with her hands very gently located in her lap. She's got a hold to a pen and a stack of papers. She seems fairly relaxed, if a bit on edge, right? She's not tense, but she's also not like just languishing, But you look at him. He looks like every guilty schoolboy ever caught doing anything wrong. He is there with his shoulders down, his hands splayed out like, I didn't do anything. Why are you after me?
Stop being mean to me. Why are you being so mean to me?
Yeah, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses on, would you? He's trying to make himself small and appear to be as rational as possible. And the effect is that he knows he's wrong. He knows he's been had.
Yes, and so because just as you mentioned, and now he spends the last several minutes of the engagement trying to paint himself as some sort of victim.
Right. Okay. Midlife, you got anything for it?
I see it differently. I really do. I see it like this man has that feminine energy, right? He knows that Hillary Clinton has said Putin and these Putin bots or Putin puppets and all this stuff. He knows that. He is aware of that. But in his mind, it doesn't trigger the, oh, she lied side of his brain. It's like he lies to himself. I believe he believes that she didn't do it because, oh, well, she just said that Putin did it, but that's not the same as Trump. And it's not the same thing as lying. Like he really, women, they just lie to themselves. They lie to their friends. And Bill Maher is no different. He really is. He may as well have a mangina plastered to his face. That's what I think. So I could be wrong. You could be right. It's hard to really say there. But I really believe that he believes that she didn't. Does that make sense?
He has convinced himself in a false reality that he is correct because they are wrong.
Yeah. Something like
He's
that.
doing
yeah.
the false dichotomy thing, right?
I mean, she conceded the election. Whether you're interpreting her disappointment at losing it as the same thing as Trump not conceding it, I don't know if that's where you're getting it from. But again, it's a tremendous false equivalency. You could ask Hillary Clinton right now who won that election. She will tell you Donald Trump won the
Now
election.
she knows she has
She
to.
absolutely
because
will not.
Trump is
She
done.
can't.
Does she say that now?
She has never once ever spoken those words.
She hasn't, right? That would be like a landmark moment if it happens. Like somebody text me
Yeah,
after
that
the
would,
show
that would be
immediately.
that would be
want
gigantic
that clip.
news.
I want that clip. I want that clip. It will go into the intro of the show somewhere between the big explosion and the city being leveled.
She hasn't. And FYI, she's like an adjunct professor at I think Columbia or someplace.
Oh my God.
Victoria Nuland. She's like a professor somewhere.
That's just
Oh,
free
yeah.
money, man. That's
Because
look,
we've
I
got
don't-
this revolving door now between the deep state and academia, which is just such a lovely thing.
Oh, don't get me started. I can't really speak on that. I have people in the Department of Defense that I'm not having that conversation myself. I'm just saying, no.
Came out that night
She
in her
conceded the
dark
election.
purple suit and conceded the election.
Correct.
Something
and
Donald-
then spent the next 4 years trying to convince us it was not legitimate. Just saying, look, it's not the same as Trump. What Trump did was far more severe. I'm not going to deny that, but don't try to tell me that Hillary Clinton wasn't an election denier, and Jamie Raskin and a whole host of Democrats who are now in prominent positions on Capitol Hill. Doesn't make it great what Trump did, but they don't have clean hands either. But you bypass the
again,
immigration question. I mean, like that.
I'm not
a lot of
bypassing it. I think
Republicans-
it's a disaster. I think
how would you put this guy back in there for 4 more years to leave the doors open?
and like it was so much better under Trump.
Yes, it was better under Trump. Are you kidding me?
It was
I paid $2.12 for a gallon of gas under Trump for a single week. It was down to $2.12, and I filled every single can I owned and a couple of other people's vehicles because why not? I don't know why it was $2. I don't care why it was $2.12. I don't know if they made a mistake at the pump. I didn't care then. I don't care now. But I immediately purchased all the gas I could purchase
Well,
for
the
everyone.
absence
I
of
worked
horse
at.
shit green energy policies will do that.
All right, let's hit him again. What's up, Mushroom Manny? Good to see you, bud. We should probably go through chat. Do we do that now or at the end? Let's do it at the end. We'll all just scream stuff at the end. It'll be great.
somewhat better.
Oh, Bill.
It was somewhat better.
Go look up the immigration rates.
Yeah, I know.
Illegal
Right.
immigration
No, I
rates
agree.
for
No,
2020, for
look,
19 to 20.
I'm not defending Biden on immigration. I don't understand why it's so difficult in this country to stop people coming through the border. I don't. And I watched that 60 Minutes piece they did on it a couple of months ago. And
Well, it's not. Israel handled it in like 24 hours with some barbed wire and a little bit of freaking chain link fence.
You know, the Dominican Republic has a border wall across the entire island of Hispaniola to keep the Haitians out, and nobody calls them racist xenophobes for some reason.
Well, those boys, them boys there, they're when your dictator's named the barbecue, I'm just saying.
and they had films of people coming through this hole and the border patrol just watching them and basically waving. I don't understand why. I don't understand why this country can't accomplish something like that. It doesn't seem like it's impossible. But so
We
many things
can.
in this country. What?
That's what's so aggravating. We can accomplish it. We can
Yeah.
stop what's happening at the southern border. We just won't under Joe Biden. And he keeps pretending like he has no agency on it, but he does have agency. There are a lot of executive orders he could do, just like Trump did. He won't. And you know why? It's because of the people who use the word Latinx who are trying to lecture him that it's not mean
No, keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
to enforce our borders.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The left wing, because they're so afraid always of being called racist, they let that color every issue, and very often wind up with terrible policies.
Being in debt is like sinking in quicksand. You're trapped.
Is there more after this?
Gosh, she did him a great favor. She didn't even include on the clip that she put up on her own channel the part where he just winds up throwing up his hands and saying, "Fine, whatever, you're right," because that's actually what it comes down to. That's the part I was eagerly looking forward to. But oh well, we got the gist of the damn thing.
Yeah, no, she smoked him. She straight smoked.
Oh yeah. She walked off with his testicles in her handbag. That is for damn sure.
Okay, so do we want Marjorie Taylor Greene AOC, or do we want Biden?
I can blast through some This Week in History while we still have a few minutes.
Okay, I got time. Midlife Bro Logic, you got anything you want to throw in on this?
No, I messed up the assignment. I thought you just wanted an opener, and I was going to go with that. But no, I didn't bring anything extra. I'm sorry.
This takes time to put together.
Mhm.
None of us have ever run a news show, satire or otherwise. I saw the gears of things that might work together, and I think that with a little bit of doing, you'll fall right into the freaking, because you're going to do the terms of service. I don't have to worry about you going too far off the reservation, and we'll be good, right?
Absolutely.
So you get the kind of idea that we're trying to work with here. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cap, do your thing, bro.
Feel free to jump in on me if I go past the end time. 19 May 1499. Catherine of Aragon is married by proxy to Arthur, Prince of Wales. Catherine is 13. Arthur is 12. Arthur dies, and then Catherine winds up marrying his brother, who later becomes Henry VIII. 1535. French explorer Jacques Cartier sets sail on his second voyage to North America with 3 ships, 110 men, and Chief Donnacona, 2 sons, whom Cartier had kidnapped during his first voyage. 1536, Anne Boleyn, second wife of the aforementioned Henry VIII of England, is beheaded for adultery, treason, and incest. 1743, Jean-Pierre Christin develops the centigrade temperature scale. 1749, King George II grants the Ohio Company a charter of land around the forks of the Ohio River. 1828, U.S. President John Quincy Adams signs the Tariff of 1828 into law, protecting wool manufacturers in the United States. 1845, Captain Sir John Franklin and his ill-fated Arctic expedition, a story we know well on this program, depart from Greenhithe, England. 1848, the Mexican-American War. Mexico ratifies the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, thus ending the war and ceding California, Nevada, Utah, and parts of 4 other modern-day U.S. states to the United States for $15 million. 1883, Buffalo Bill's first Buffalo Bill Wild West show opens in Omaha, Nebraska. 1911, Parks Canada, the world's first National Park Service, is established as the Dominion Parks branch under the Department of the Interior. 1943, Winston Churchill's second wartime address to the U.S. Congress. 1950, Egypt announces that the Suez Canal is closed to Israeli ships and commerce. 1962, a birthday salute to U.S. President John F. Kennedy takes place at Madison Square Garden, New York City. The highlight is Marilyn Monroe's extremely drunken, highly medicated rendition of Happy Birthday. No idea how she wound up dead just a matter of weeks later. 1963, the New York Post Sunday magazine publishes Martin Luther King's letter from the Birmingham jail. 2018, the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle is held at St. George's Chapel, Windsor, with an estimated global audience of 1.9 billion. 20 May, 325, the First Council of Nicaea is formally opened, starting the First Ecumenical Council of the Christian Church. 794. While visiting the Royal Mercian Court at Sutton Walls with a view to Princess Elfrith, King Ethelbert II of East Anglia is taken captive and beheaded. Moms and dads out there, never name your daughter Elfrith, is all I'm saying. 1570, cartographer Abraham Ortelius issues Theatrum Orbis Terrarum, the very first modern atlas. 1609, Shakespeare's sonnets are first published in London, perhaps illicitly, by the publisher Thomas Thorpe. 1775, the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence is purportedly signed in Charlotte, North Carolina. 1802, by the law of 20 May 1802, Napoleon Bonaparte reinstates slavery in the French colonies, revoking its abolition during the French Revolution. 1862, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln signs the Homestead Act into law, opening 84 million acres of public land to settlers. 1873, Levi Strauss, and Jacob Davis receive a U.S. patent for blue jeans with copper rivets. 1883, Krakatoa begins to erupt. The volcano explodes 3 months later, killing more than 36,000 people. 1891, the first public display of Thomas Edison's prototype kinetoscope. So the first public exhibition of movies, in other words. 1902, Cuba gains independence from the United States. Tomas Estrada Palma becomes the country's first president. 1927, the Treaty of Jeddah, the United Kingdom recognizes the sovereignty of King Ibn Saud in the kingdoms of Hejaz and Nejd, which later merged to become the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. 1927, Charles Lindbergh takes off for Paris from Roosevelt Island in Long Island, New York, aboard the Spirit of St. Louis on the first nonstop solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean, landing 33 and a half hours later. 1932, Amelia Earhart takes off from Newfoundland to begin the world's first solo nonstop flight across the Atlantic by a female pilot, landing in Ireland the next day. Was she aiming for Ireland? She was not. She was aiming for Paris. But make whatever jokes you like about women drivers. 1948, Generalissimo Chiang Kai-shek wins the 1948 Republic of China presidential election and is sworn in as the first president of the Republic of China at Nanjing. And within less than 1 year's time, he is fleeing for his life and decamping to Taiwan. 1964, the discovery of the cosmic microwave background radiation by Robert Woodrow Wilson and Arno Penzias. 1980, in a referendum in Quebec, the population rejects with 60% of the vote a government proposal to move toward independence from Canada. 1989, the Chinese authorities declare martial law in the face of pro-democracy demonstrations, setting the scene for the Tiananmen Square massacre. 2019, the International System of Units. The base units are redefined, making the international prototype of the kilogram obsolete. Should I stop there?
If you wish, that leaves us 4 minutes.
Okay.
We can banter for 4 minutes.
Yeah, we can banter for 4 minutes.
So I kind of dig this interaction we've got going on. The whole vibe kind of works. I dig it. I would like to see next week, if possible, each of you do a hardcore story, something specific, whatever it is, your choice. I'm not trying to hold the reins. I'm just asking for 15 minutes from each of you, whether you deliver it live or pre-record something, and we can either react to it or just play it outright if you prefer. That's up to you. Basically,
and I have been thinking about, as I mentioned to you backstage before the show, just perhaps maybe toying around with pre-shooting the news roundup. So with all the, because it would be kind of cool to have it run with all the visual aids that I put on it afterwards, right, when it goes live.
Cool. And
it just seems like it would be kind of awesome
afterwards. That's what I was going to tell Midlife. He has a great show over there. He does excellent work over there. I really dig watching him do what he does. He has no format. You don't really follow a formula at all, and so it just kind of rolls organically from location to location, and that works. That does, right? That's a thing you've managed to do. Some people can, some people can't. I wonder whether or not you're gonna be able to handle an aggressive panel. Have you been on aggressive panels? I know you've been on flow states a couple of times, but have you like gone hard on like an RBJ?
I don't know what that is. I mean, I don't like to host. I'm not great at hosting aggressive panels. I don't like that. I've been on panels. I go on lots of panels, but
okay.
You know, usually when I go on these quote unquote aggressive panels, someone threatens to like kill me and beat me up, but I'm just like, okay, I'm done. It's like that's too far, man. Like,
yeah, I guess that is an aggressive panel, isn't it?
Yeah. But welcome to YouTube anyway.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is this. Would you two prefer to pre-record some like 10, 15-minute segment, or what parts do you prefer to do live versus a possible pre-record? You want to do the roundup as a pre-recording. I approve of this. This is an excellent idea.
I'm thinking my thinking is sort of with a mind toward, you know, most weeks I normally do 2 regular episodes, and I think maybe instead of the second episode, I might just make the roundup in its fully completed form?
But here's my question. Are you going to release it before the show or after?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Because if you release it before the show, that does weird things with copyright.
Yeah,
so
not a chance.
It's
the Sunday show segment, and it will debut on the Sunday show.
Okay. So you have two choices on that because you're the channel owner. You can upload it directly into your brand file and play it. Midlife, if you decide to do a pre-recording, you're going to have to upload it to YouTube as a video and save it unlisted.
Private.
That way you can send me the link. I can put it in and we can do everything at the right time and everything. It should work fairly smooth.
What's the difference between private and unlisted?
Private, you cannot share the link. In other words, if I take the link, I can't copy it and send it somewhere else. But an unlisted, I can send the link wherever I want. If someone who you did not send the link to tries to go to a private video, it says the video was removed. So,
copy that.
All right, that's the time, dude. You got to do the thing. Hold on a second. Before we do the thing, Midlife, how are you at doing talk outs?
Yeah, let's have him do the talk out.
Okay.
Have you ever done a talk out?
I can end it if that's what that is.
That's what it is. The idea is to tell everybody to, it's a good thing. Everybody had fun and yada yada. Do it.
All right, everybody. You know what's up. This is Sunday's hottest ticket. Like I said before, move over HBO. HBO has been dead since The Wire's gone, Band of Brothers is missing, and Sopranos is no mas, right? And I know you're all homeless. I know you're looking for a home. You're looking for something to look forward to on Sunday night. Well, here it is. Look no further. You have found it. Okay. Call us the Three Musketeers or the Three Stooges, somewhere in between, or maybe somewhere better. But we have all formed up, and we're talking Bidenomics, synergistic. 3 people actually equals 4, baby. Okay, so that's what we're talking about here. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. What are you waiting for, right? We got Captain Curmudgeon. Curmudgeon's kind of a hard word to spell, but I know that old Sasquatch is going to leave a link for all of my millions, let me repeat, millions of fans to sub to the great Captain. And Captain, is this hockey themed? Because guess what? I might come wearing a jersey next week too, sir. So just be ready for that. Make sure you sub to Captain Curmudgeon. How can you get better than these history lessons? How can you get better by this? What do we call this? Deadpan humor, all the while being entertained. Bro, it's awesome. I love it. I'm gay for it, my dude. Absolutely, 100%. And let's talk about Sasquatch, right? Georgia's own. Is the Sasquatch real? Yes, it is. Only thing I want to find out is Yeti real too, and what channel is that? So if you're not sub to Caucasian Sasquatch, what are you doing with your life? Like, really, what are you doing? And of course, I'm Midlife Bro Logic. Come on, man. I want to be like this dude I never heard of, Richetti. I want to reach the heights, baby. I want to leave everything behind and make millions of dollars just talking shit on YouTube. So make that happen for me, baby. And we can't get there until I get my subs up, right? I need 1,000 subs so I can get paid for views. Come on, baby. I got super chats. I got memberships. I got some kind of shopping something. I don't even know what it is, but I got to look into it. But I need subs. Tell a friend, send a friend, get family. Get this is a pyramid scheme to get Midlife Bro Logic, a.k.a. Barnabas, on the top. Call me Pharaoh. I'll see you next Sunday, every Sunday from here on out. 8 p.m. Be there or be square.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?